Hey guys, so today I'm in Leiria with these 4 riding buddies and we're about to go on a big adventure to tackle section 3 of Trans-Euro Trail Portugal. So tag along, because it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'll let you know more about these guys along the video, but for those not familiar with the TET, the Trans-Euro Trail, it's a network of off-road routes that stretches all across Europe, designed specifically for adventure and dual sport motorcycles. Created by the community for the community, the TET is completely free and maintained by volunteers called linesmen for each country. Designed for dual sport and adventure bikes, the trail is made of several sections, mostly unpaved, taking riders through remote back roads, mountains, rivers, forests and traditional villages. Each section brings new challenges, incredible views, and that pure sense of freedom only off-road travel can give you. My name is Joao and welcome to another video of Trail Seeker. In Portugal, the TET stretches for about 2,300 kilometers, zigzagging the country from north to south. And today we're tackling section 3, one of the most scenic and at times challenging parts of the Portuguese route. So we started in Leiria, and the goal today is to go all the way to Proença Nova. It's going to be about 185 kilometers. Okay, so let's start introducing these guys. Some of them you've already seen in other videos. Gualter on the TTR, Lucas on the CRF 300L, and Renato, who was on the DRZ and now he's on the Voge 300. And not in the picture, Miguel on the Husky 701 that joined us from Porto. Let's start with Lucas here on the CRF 300L. He's the one who invited me to join this ride, so big shout out to Lucas for making this awesome experience happen. Like the other guys in the group, Lucas started riding on the road over 20 years ago, but about 2 years back he caught the off-road bug and never looked back. He daily rides a GS 1300, but now he's all in off-road and the CRF 300L is the perfect bike for this transition. Our first stop is the medieval village of Ourém. Ourém goes back to the 12th century. It was founded by Count Afonso Henriques, who later became the first king of Portugal. Its hilltop castle was a key strategic point during the Reconquista. And over time, it grew into a noble town. On the Vogue 300 is Renato, also a road veteran. Started off-roading last year and is also a BMW guy with GS 1250. As we ride through, we pass narrow cobble streets, stone houses and the impressive castle of Ourém, which offers stunning views over the valley. It's a peaceful yet powerful reminder that on TET it's not just a trail that's wild. The places you pass through have stories of their own. We started at a moderate pace, but it didn't take long for the TET to show its true nature. There's plenty of sightseeing along the way, but make no mistake, this isn't a relaxing cruise. The TET throws in some serious challenges. You'll hit sections where you'll have to slow right down and stay focused. It's an endurance test both physically and mentally. On the Husqvarna 701 is Miguel. He's from Porto and joined us in Leiria for this adventure. Another two-wheel enthusiast with more road miles and a lot of touring adventures around Europe on his Africa Twin. Last but not least, Gualter on the TTR. He's a group handyman. He's from the Navy, also started off-road recently, but has always done mountain biking and his riding skills show it. He dismantled and rebuilt all this bike from scratch, put a half tower on it, and it's pretty amazing how this 20-plus-year-old bike is still such an awesome machine. To balance the small size of the TTR, on the road Gualter drives a big boat, the Goldwing, that weighs over 400 kilos. About me and the CFMOTO 450, after 7,000 kilometers on this bike I couldn't be happier. My story goes a bit the opposite of these guys. I ride off-road since a kid in the 90s, just got into adventure riding a few years ago with the previous Tenere, the XT660Z. I got addicted to long distance adventure riding, did about 50,000 kilometers in 2.5 years. But that bike was just too high and too heavy, so last year I got the CRF 300L and did about 6,000 kilometers, mostly off-road, in 6 months. Also, I found the CRF to be a bit lacking of power. I've rode two-strokes all my life, although they can't do these long distance trips like the CRF. Yeah, they do have much more power and I was lacking that. So yeah, the CRF does everything, it just does not excel on anything. But it's still a great bike, an amazing bike. I took quite a while deciding to make the switch. I was afraid to get the same problems I had with the Tenere, but the way this bike handles is just amazing, and in 7,000 kilometers I never got into any situation or obstacle where I had to turn back. This bike just goes, and sometimes I'm still in disbelief that this is a 200 kilogram motorbike. I was in the hopes of being able to do some pretty good off-road with it, but never in my dreams I thought I would be making TET with the CFMOTO. But enough talking, as we are reaching what was probably my favorite part of the day, around Tomar, deep trails that dive into the medieval times. This is a 6-kilometer aqueduct, Aqueduto de Pegões, and it was built around the 1600s to supply water to the Convent of Christ, which had been the headquarters of the Knights Templar in Portugal. After a quick lunch at the cafeteria, right next to the entrance of the convent, we started descending along the old stone stairway that runs outside the castle wall. The Knights Templar were a powerful Christian military order founded in 1119 during the Crusades. In Portugal, the Templars played a key role in the Reconquista, helping reclaim territory from the Moors. In 1160 they founded the castle and the city of Tomar, which became their headquarters in Portugal. As you can probably see by now, the TET is quite demanding, and yeah, after a few hours it starts taking a toll on us. When you get into these flat roads where you can drive a bit faster, it kind of feels like a good break from all that technical stuff. If you want to discover Portugal in a setting more like this of open roads and fast drive, check the ACT. It also runs north to south. It's about 1,200 kilometers, and yeah, it's just less technical than that, but also very scenic, and yeah, it's 60% off-road, I believe. But even the road part, it's quite scenic. Tomorrow we'll be driving the ACT. We're gonna go from Proença Nova to Castelo Branco, so don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss that one. But don't be fooled, because TET never stays like this for too long. And after just a little bit, here we go again. massive respect to those who ride the entire TET Portugal in one go. Around 12 to 15 days of constant obstacles, tough terrain and unforgettable moments. It's not easy, but it's a kind of journey that leaves you with stories for a lifetime. Thanks again to these guys for inviting me for this riding adventure. If you haven't yet, please leave a like and a comment. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer. And now I'll leave you just with 10 minutes of pure audio. Some people prefer the purest kind of video, so on these big videos I'm leaving the 10 minutes just with pure audio, with no music and no narrative. until the end. Thanks a lot, hope you enjoyed. Please leave a comment saying you stayed all the way. I really like to know who stayed all the way until the end. So yeah, don't forget to follow and subscribe, because there's gonna be a lot more videos very soon.
Grande desnível, porra. Está mesmo cheia a barragem. Desculpa. Já estás a gravar ou não? Porque não sei.